have a wonderful performance. From the left and exit from the right. But because of the stage limitation, she couldn't do that, so she needs to come back to the stage again. So she's, this thing really demonstrates how we use the water sleeves to think about, the whole process. Do you know what she's doing on the stage? You don't know? Okay. She's thinking about whether it's good or not to go out. She said, she thinks whether it is ready. When she pointed to the left, to the right, do I still have my aid with me? Can I use my plate again? When I'm traveling a long distance on the stage, going the round circles, am I ready to go back to the battlefield? So she's thinking about that. But finally, she thinks I'm ready. So she takes the command, the seal back and say, I'm ready, and let me go. And then it's accompanied by the drum. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our band to you. In Beijing Opera, we see the orchestra hold up the half the sky, and this is it. Because they never sit in the pit, they sit here. Let me introduce Master Zhao Wanjing. He's the drum. He's the national first-class musician, so we're very lucky to have him here. But I don't need to pay for his air ticket. Very good. So the Beijing Opera's band is usually very different from the Western opera. You see, in the Western opera, you're going to see a very big band like that, and you're going to have the conductor standing here, facing the orchestra member. But here in the Beijing Opera, Master Zhao Wanjing direct and conduct everything just behind the scene. You'll see him almost invisible, but without him, all the music is gone. So he is really the soul. And then we have the two violinists. First violin, Li Qiulin. He is from New Jersey. And Ji Li, he is from Philadelphia. Both of them have been practicing the Beijing Opera in the Beijing Opera band for 20 years. So we're really lucky to have them. In the Beijing Opera, the first violinist must be able to adapt to the spontaneous improvisation of the performer. So it's really without any further warning. So when the performer is standing in the stage, they have to watch very carefully what the performer is going to do, and then adjust the tempo and the music patterns spontaneously. So it's really not easy. Li Tingting, our local professional, and she's a mother of two babies, but she's still looking very young, very professional. We're really lucky to have her here. And we also have our three friends from New York City. This is really a combination of a U.S. East troop. Ma Bin with the big gong, right? Yeah. And He Shengchao is the symbol, right? Yes. He Shengchao is the symbol. And her nickname is Kezi, but it's Li Zexin. She is the small gong. We have two female members from an orchestra, but Li Zexin is also an adult male performer, You wouldn't see that very often. So without further ado, let's have the next piece, Farewell, My Lady. We're going to have the live band here, and when we have setting up the equipment, is it ready now? I think it's here. Yeah, put it here over it. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. Okay.赵老师可以了。 Thank you very much, May. And it was a wonderful performance of the cast. You know, Han Chun and Chu had a final battle, and Lady Yu Ji just tried to cheer her husband, the king, up by the sword dancing. But just to, you know, make sure any children here were not scared away, we saved the other part. She suicided herself because she loved her husband so much, really want to free him up from worrying about her in the battle, in the final battle. So we have also this guzheng, we call the old harp in the Chinese traditional music, and that music is, in fact, part of the music is from this Chu and Han battle, the final Chu troops and Han troops battle. It's called 十面埋伏. Of course, within a combination of 渔舟唱晚. The music itself is adapted from this story. So we are really lucky today. Now we're going to have the last performance, going to be a play by Master Qin Xueling. She is a national Plum Blossom winner, which is the highest prize of the opera practitioners in China. She's not only the top-notch artist in the Beijing opera world, but also an educator here. She taught a lot of students to perform Beijing opera, including myself. So we're really grateful for her contribution. So just in order to inherit her kind of education spirit, I'm going to ask you to watch her performance very carefully. And then afterwards, I'm going to ask you what she's doing on the stage.